Well, hello. Today it's a nice snowy day outside. It's cold. It's like 20 degrees. We had our first snow of the year. I went out the other day before it hit and got a big load of firewood, and this is been out playing with the kids in the snow, and put me some sourdough out to rise, and I just get tired of making the same old sourdough rolls, sourdough loaves. So I thought I'd try something new today, which is Kaiser Rolls. And so here we go. We're going to try some Kaiser Rolls. This is what's left. You see I've got a few down here already. And I cut half. I had a big bunch of sourdough. I cut half of it in half. It's going to make a loaf. I need some sandwich bread. So my rest, I thought I'd make some Kaiser Rolls. So here we go. And all I do is just put it, this is lightly floured, and just roll it out till it's about 12 inches or so. Some people, they'll pull off some. They say, well, it has to be 5 ounces or 3 ounces or whatever, or has to be 12 inches in length. I'm never when I cook, I don't cook by the exact. You know, I'm not one of those that has to be precise, because my food turns out, and I just don't. So what I do, I get it out to about 12 inches or so, and just pick it up, and what I'm going to do is just tie a simple overhand knot. Get it, see there? Okay. Then I'm going to bring the bottom one over across the top, put it in there. I'm going to bring the bottom one under and put it in there. There you go. I'm going to put it over here. Get us another piece here. Just, I don't know, tear off, I don't know, about yay big, you know. Experiment a little. You know, people say, well, I need the exact recipe. You don't need the exact recipe. Experiment. That's the fun thing about cooking, or really, it's, you know, fun thing about life. I'll put me a little bit more flour down there. You can use cornmeal. I'm not going to put the little fancy seeds on these because I don't have them. And I'm just make something fun. And so, but going back to what I was saying, people think they have to have the exact recipe, and if you're off by a 1/4 ounce, and your recipe's not going to turn out. Okay, there we go, about 12 inches. I'm going to take her. See if I can get this a little closer. Just tie an overhand knot like that. Okay, then we're going to bring the bottom one over, put it in there in the middle. Yeah, like I say, you can tell I haven't done this a lot, but anyway, we're going to get those in the center. Kind of messed that one up watching the camcorder instead of watching what I was doing, but anyway, it'll turn out, you know. No big failure. If it doesn't, it'll still eat. But that's the thing with life. You don't have to be exact about every little thing. Recipe, I can tell you how to make your starter. Somebody's going, I need a recipe for starter. Okay, water and flour. There you go. That's your. I use bread flour, but you can use all-purpose. Experiment. It doesn't have to be exact. Nothing has to be exact. So. And that's the, you know, like, oh, people just got to have exact this. And I see people, I was watching the Barbecue Pit Boys is one of my favorite channels on YouTube. And they gave a recipe brine for turkey. And they went over the brine in the video. And people were saying, oh, that recipe's not on your... Okay, here we go. Bring this over the top. I know I'm interrupting, but... Okay, this is the top. We're going to come up under the bottom. There we go. And people were going on it, freaking out on the YouTube channel, saying, "Oh, you don't have that recipe on your website." Well, if you'd watched the video, he would have told you, and it wasn't exact. It was some oranges, some ginger, and apple cider, and you know, just stuff that people think they can have. They're so afraid to try anything anymore. So, you know, that's the spice of life. Experiment. What works for me may not work for you. You try these, you may want to put the little poppy seeds or whatever, sesame seeds, whatever goes on top of them. on them. Some people roll these in cornmeal, but what I'm going to do, I'm rolling them up. There we go. Let's see if I can get this in the frame. Rolling it up. I got such big hands, it makes it kind of hard. I'm going to bring the top one under and the bottom one back over itself. Try to work it in there, kind of make it look, I don't really care what it looks like, but you know, there we go. Now, when I get these done, I'm going to let them set for a couple hours till they rise. I've got my loaf already in the oven waiting for it to rise, my second rise. And I had a little, it was kind of cold. It's been cold when my sourdough starter hadn't been strong because, well, I let the first batch die. So started the second batch in the winter and it hadn't been as strong as I'd liked. So I had to help this out with a little yeast. It's okay. Sometimes it will, sometimes it won't. If you have to help it out with yeast, help it out with yeast. There again, we're not exact. So here we go. Tie overhand knot, just like that. Bring the one that's under down through the top. Bring the one on top back up under. It's going to be some funky looking rolls, but I'll show you these after I get done. But there you go. That's what we're after. And see if I can make this. Yeah. Roll them out till you get the long. Now I'll let these rise till they about double or something, someplace in there, till I get tired of waiting. Then I will brush them before I put them in the oven to bake. They'll rise an hour or two, maybe 4. I'll just until I'm, you know, there again, it's not exact. Just watch it, and when it gets big as what you want it to bake, well, slap some melted butter on them or whatever you want. You can put paprika. Again, it's your food. Make it the way you want. And this is kind of sticky. Bring it under. Like I said, people with small hands tend to do this much better than I do. You can put some Tony Chachere's on them. You know, sprinkle it on the top. Any kind of seasoning on top, no seasoning. I'm not using nothing here. This, like I said, this is just what I been wanting to try this, and so I like sourdough bread by itself. This is soured. This is soured pretty well. Like I said, I started with my sourdough roll, and it didn't rise after 12 hours, or if it did, very little. My starter was just weak, so I had to helped it out with some. There we go. Helped it out with some yeast dough. Mixed up a small batch of dough, heavy on the yeast. Mixed it into the starter bread that's been sitting there for an hour without rising, and let it set another 6 hours, and it rose almost 2.5 times. And I said, that's what we want. I have no idea how this bread turned out. Don't really care. I'd like for it to turn out really great, but I'm having fun, and that's all counts. Now, here we go. You see my rolls here. There's 3, 6, 9, 12 of them. I'm going to put them in the oven with the light on, and I'm going to let them rise, and probably about double, or you know, however much they want. Now, like I say, some people will put some cornmeal down, and if I thought about it before I started, I would have done it, but I didn't. I was just wanting to see if I could make Kaiser Rolls, and they look all right. I'm not going to buy one of them chintzy little stamps. You know, I mean, what's the point if you got to stamp the curls in there? What's the point? I mean, that's to me pathetic. But this is the way you make Kaiser Rolls. I'll share with you probably later on the recipe for this bread if it turns out. It is good bread, makes great rolls, make great loaf. So anyway, this is part 1. Look for part 2, and don't forget to subscribe down below. Like us on Facebook, and just we love y'all, and check out part 2. Let's see how these things turned out. Goodbye.